Hey y'all, welcome back. Episode 16 of season 2 of the Manly Musings podcast. So, tonight was supposed to be another wrestling episode. We're not doing wrestling tonight.
Sad face.
Yeah, sad face for Kevin, but we had the Duke Blue Devil himself joining us yet again for like the 20th time, I feel like already. Mr. Cyrus Jones. So say hello, Cyrus.
Call me Jones. It's Johnson.
It's Cyrus
Sorry.
Johnson. Oh my
Sorry.
God.
Wow, that was a great intro, and I butchered it.
I know. So
Oh
good.
man!
Andrew, edit that one out.
Just bleep out the last little bit of Cyrus Jones with Johnson, or just bleep that part. My God. Well, I'm an idiot.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
You had a long day. You've had a long day.
Actually, you know what? It has been a very long day. Work was very slow today. So I'm like running around doing stuff around the house, and then had 12 different people I had to call for my job. I was like, Jesus.
Oh my God.
It is draining.
We'll see you.
But happy to have you back, Cyrus. It's only been like 2 weeks. So
Glad to be back.
I know, right? Yes, always a pleasure. Cyrus is practically like the third host of the pod. So shout out to you for always being down to join us.
It's always fun to talk to you guys. Listen, it's just like family, man. Just sit down, relax, and just let it flow.
wow, he's calling us family.
That's right. That's what
Woo!
it is.
All right. So we're going to talk, I don't even know, football, basketball. I don't even know. We're just going to run with it tonight. This was a completely tossed to the side, made up episode because we thought wrestling was going to happen. But we do promise for all our wrestling fans that will occur in sometime in the near future when Joe Mack is not bringing his dog to doggy training and when Leland is not having to go to Pittsburgh for work.
It's gonna happen. I'm already looking at the calendars.
You better. Like, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to sit here and just yell wrestling.
You know what we should have did, Kev? I didn't even think about it. Raw 30th is right in my backyard. We should have went to that.
I know. I was thinking that same thing, but it came up so quick. Like I feel like sometimes like normally we hear about these things like month in advance, but like all of a sudden I'm hearing, oh yeah, Raw 30th anniversary is coming up. Oh yeah, and it's just in Philadelphia. You're like, well, who would have known?
No, I mean, honestly, they didn't even promote it as much as I thought they would have. Like, it wasn't even promoted like that.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was very rushed. And
Yeah.
when you watch the show the night before, at night, like it's like they brought out like as many people as they could, but like they probably could have done more things. I think they just maybe couldn't get certain people in time, or just
that's what it looked like.
It was, but overall, while we're on the wrestling topic, it was a great Raw, though. You know, lots of great action, lots of fun legends.
Wasn't that was the one Undertaker was at as American Badass, right?
Yeah.
But he hasn't came out as American Badass like since like God. You're thinking
so it's almost
2000,
almost like 11 years, right? 10, 11 years, something like that.
I thought it said 20 years since he'd been.
Yeah,
I think I said something to Kevin today, and it was like 20 years since he's been the American Badass, and people were like, "This is amazing." And he came out to Kid Rock, but they all wished he came out to Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I think it's like the licensing because
he doesn't.
The Limp Bizkit is the classic, the classic song that he used to came out because he used to come out to Rollin'.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But obviously, like copyrights and all that, they probably didn't get enough time to get like the licensing.
Probably couldn't. I mean, because Fred Durst and them still have the rights to that song, so he probably couldn't get all their
They're probably going to get it together in time. But here's a funny fact that I don't know if anybody noticed. So they noticed when you hear the song, everybody's like kind of freaking out. But you notice there's kind of like a delay in like the Undertaker coming out. I think his bike was stalling out to come out.
It happened twice because it happened as he was leaving too. So they had to cut away. They took a far away shot, so he was trying to get it, so they didn't show him like stalling out.
Yeah, it was funny because like you can see when he was going around the ring, he was literally just pressing his feet down, rolling around the ring instead of like actually riding the bike around, which was really, really funny. But live TV, that shit happens.
Yep.
Merritt,
I didn't
anything
watch
to
any of it.
add?
I didn't
Well,
watch any of it.
you saw the highlight. You sent me the highlight.
I didn't see it. I
Highlight?
just saw that it showed him on his bike. That's all I knew.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
it.
thought you would have gave. I thought you watched the little video that it came with.
You know
No,
what it
I
was? You
didn't.
know what it was, Kev?
Oh.
He only watched it for Triple H coming on, so he could say, "Are you ready?"
I
That's
didn't
all it
even
was.
know any of this was on TV. I was in bed, to be straight up. I was asleep by 8:30 last night. I was reading a book in bed at 8 and fell asleep 30 minutes later. Yeah, I'm old.
It's okay.
All right.
No,
Wow.
been a
So I
long
just
weekend.
realized I know like when we haven't even started talking about our subjects, man, we are almost approaching episode 70.
Damn, we
Wow.
old. We still around. People still like us.
I know.
Weird. Why? I don't understand people. Like, what's going on?
We'll get and by the time you hit that 100th episode, you'll get a sponsor. Trust me, you will.
Dude, we're trying so hard.
I'm trusting you will.
Oh, you gonna sponsor us, Cyrus? Thank you.
If I told you if I ever hit for a boatload of money, I would definitely sponsor you guys.
Oh, so nice. So nice.
Might even buy you a studio at that point.
There you go.
That's the dream. Instead
That
of doing it in our humble abodes.
Say, honey, where you going at? Where you going at? I'm going to the studio. You got some stuff to do? Yeah, I got some
Peace. Bye. I gotta go meet up with Kevin in the studio. That would be so dope. So dope. We've talked about it before, but my goal is like Pat McAfee, like type studio would be amazing.
Oh, that would be amazing.
But that is a pipe
in
dream.
due time.
Yeah,
in due time.
That is our pipe dream. So, all right, let's just jump into this. So, the first Japanese-born NBA player has now been traded from the Washington Wizards to the Lakers for a few second-round picks. Apparently, it's because Kyle Kuzma has now said he will stay in DC.
Oh, is that why they traded Rui?
That's what I heard.
Yeah. There's a log jam at that position, and they can't. He's playing. So they played him 13 minutes, Merritt, something like that. 10, 13 minutes a game.
Yeah.
They wanted to play him more, but they can't because
Kuz
is playing that. Yeah, Kuz is playing starters minutes, so they can't afford to give him the minutes he wants.
Yeah, and I like Ryu. I think he's a good, solid basketball player. Kevin sent the meme, I think, or it was you or Andrew that sent it in the group chat, and it was now they're going to be the Los Angeles Wizards because there's 4 guys from the Wizards now on the Lakers. And all of them, I would say, are having a fairly decent year over there. So this will be interesting to see what the Lakers do with moving pieces around now, because it's another logjam at that small forward, shooting guard type position. So we'll see.
Remember when I said it last time we were talking? I said, currently Towns would be on that team sooner than later. This may be an opportunity. I'm not saying it's going to happen during this trade this season. After the season's over, I can see that maybe being a possibility.
Well, we got 2 weeks till the trade deadline.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. Not with minutes, no.
No, apparently they're going to try to get rid of D'Angelo Russell.
Yes.
The rumor that I saw was that Timberwolves are looking to move on from him, which is interesting because the 3 of those guys seem to work pretty well together on the court. They may not like each other off the court, but I don't care.
I think part of it is Russell plays that between. He plays between. He doesn't have a natural point guard position, and that's always been his problem though. He's an in between guy. So now where do you put him at? That's the question. Think about that. Where do you if you were putting a team together, where would you put him at? You would need the guy on the other side that literally does the opposite of what he's doing. And Anthony is not. I forget his last name. Anthony Edwards is not doing that. He's a scorer. He's a primetime player. You're not. He's going to get up his shots. So you can't have another guy that's going to put up shots.
That's true.
So
it'll be interesting. I'm intrigued to see what the next couple of weeks will be. There's a lot of buzz out there in the NBA on who will get traded, who's going to get moved.
There's a lot of teams that's going to be getting rid of a lot of players because you think about it, once they get to the All-Star break, if you're not in close or even close to the playing game, I can see you like trying to get rid of.
I can see them selling off players.
Yeah,
for sure. I know the Warriors basically said that they weren't going to trade their 3 big guys that are sitting on the bench doing nothing because they're all hurt.
Right.
That is a bold-faced lie. If you get a good offer, you are trading 1 or 2 of them because you need guys that can come in. They have no size.
Right. So the question is, here's the question: who would you trade? Between 2 of you, the 2 of you guys, who would you trade out of those 3 big guys?
So who is it? It's Wiseman. I can't remember.
Wiseman. Got to start.
Wait, who are we talking about? Which
the
team?
Wizards? The Warriors. They're the 3 guys.
Wasn't it like Wiseman, Moody, and who else is there? Other one.
I don't remember.
Hold on.
My gosh. Everyone look up the Warriors depth chart.
I'm looking right now. Maybe Jermichael Green? Is that the guy?
Kaminga.
Kaminga.
Kaminga. Like, you're talking about that group of like young guys?
Yeah, the young centers basically is what I would call them, or power forwards.
Well, Kaminga is a small forward, so
but they got him playing. They got him playing the power forward spot, sort of like the Draymond Green of the second group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, out of those 3, if I had to pick one of them to move, I think I would trade. I almost would trade Wiseman because he might give you the biggest return because his upside is so good. I know he hasn't played much basketball in the past 2 years because of injuries, but when he's out there, he does look like he can play in this league. So he might fetch you at least a first-round pick. I don't think
Are you also talking about like Kevon Looney, because he's also in that kind of like that second class?
No, because Looney's a starter. Looney has started all their games except for the one against the Celtics this past weekend. He started every game.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really get rid of him because he's okay with coming off the bench if he had to come off the bench too. So he's not. Yeah. It's not really a big enough deal.
The other ones are the ones that have apparently complained and been,
Well, I mean, I to their point, I mean, all those Moody, Wiseman, Kaminga, they're all young guys that really just want to play. I think the only one out of all of them that got that burn and then he got a payday out of it was Jordan Poole. So you're not going to trade him because you just gave him an extension. Now you might as well. The rest of those guys are probably, I think, on their like rookie deals.
Yeah,
so
they all
might
are
as
on
well
rookie deals.
Get rid of them to see what you can get. But maybe another draft pick or another guy to solidify the lineup. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
The toughest part for me for listening to, like, even from you guys even talking about it, right? I think my thought is, Jesus, if they get rid of the 3 guys, right, and say they decide they need to start over in another couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh, they have to.
Right. But my question now is, because those guys were supposed to be the guys of the future, right? And for some reason, they just can't produce now. I don't know if it's just because they assume that they're supposed to get more playing time than everybody else, or if they're just not, now that they're on everybody's radar, do they now, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because
right. You're pretty much, like, if you get rid of those guys, you're essentially kind of getting rid of like your farm system.
Right.
Unless you are that confident that, you have great scouting, that you can just retool in the draft, or you can find talent in the G League that's hidden.
Well, let's be honest. It's the Golden State Warriors. That name nowadays is going to garner attention from free agents too. So
True.
There's a lot. The NBA I think in the NBA it's easier to retool and get back to being a competitive team than it is in a lot of other leagues.
If it was me though, I would say this. If it was me, I would say I would get rid of Kuminga and I would get rid of Mooney. I wouldn't so much get rid of Wiseman. If I got rid of Wiseman, the only reason I would get rid of Wiseman is this. If I can get rid of Wiseman, like you said, I need to get a first round pick and I need to get back another guy that I can put in the lineup automatically that's going to give me 10 to 20 minutes.
Mm.
If I can get that in some sort of form, whether even if it's 2 second round picks and a guy or whatever it is, however that works out.
Yep. Well,
I would do that.
The funny part is Wiseman makes more money than both Kuminga and Mooney put together.
Right.
But not by much. But still, he has a bigger roster, like a bigger salary cap hit. But yeah, you need to get something value in return.
Because his biggest problem is defensively. Offensively, he's fine. Defensively is where he has the issue at. That's what they've been trying to work with him with.
Right. And the funny part is you have a guy who went undrafted, who makes literally on the ESPN app has no salary listed next to his name. And Anthony Lamb, who went to the University of Vermont in Burlington, Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have not been there, there's literally nothing to do besides go hang out in the pastures with the cows. And it's Vermont. So all the stoners out there, that's what you get to do. This kid for 3 or 4 games in a row put up 20 and 10.
Right.
And he is 6'6", 240 pounds. Like he's playing a size up. That he's in their role. Those 3 guys' role right now because of how well he played in the G League. So he's getting his chance. So it does make all 3 of them expendable. I think it's just who gets you the best return,
right,
for it. But like we said, it's going to be real interesting. Come, was it February?
It's after the All-Star break now, so it's like February.
It's like literally the week right after.
When is the All-Star game?
February 17th or something like that. 16th, 17th, something like that. That weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny because I think it's for the first time it's like so close to like right after the Super Bowl.
I think it's like that week.
February 19th is the All-Star game.
So it's a week after the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, which has never really happened.
No.
Because normally the Super Bowl is like up more but then the extra week and everything is pushed back. Which is, I mean, for me, I dig it because I love, sports back to back. But it's just awkward because it's like I feel like it's so late.
Well, isn't it also President's Day the fall after?
Yeah, it's always President's Day. They always do it President's Day weekend. You're right.
So
what else we got next?
They try to give them that day off.
Shall we actually go through what's next on the list?
We will go through this list. Jeez. Let's not take 20 minutes to go through one part of it. My God, we're going to be here forever. So divisional round for the NFL playoffs just finished up on Sunday. We're not even going to talk about one of the games because it wasn't even a game. But we'll make mention of it. The Eagles dismantled the New York Giants 38-7. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that one.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I was watching it while I was at the UNH hockey game this past weekend. We got to kind of jump up into a suite, which was fun.
Nice.
And put the game on because my buddy is a Giants fan. Yeah, not so good for him. The Jaguars hung around with the Chiefs for a little while. Basically destroyed Mahomes' ankle. Should probably not have actually played, in my opinion, in the second half because Chad Henne is a serviceable quarterback that literally just all you need to do, throw to 3 guys and hand the ball off. That's all you gotta do. That's it. You got capable receivers, you're good. Then what? We had the Bills and the Bengals, which again, we won't mention that one because that wasn't a game either.
Oof, that was rough.
Yeah. The Bengals look good. And then the nightcap, Cyrus, your team, that was probably the most boring game to watch straight up out of all of them. I thought it was just going to be kicking field goals all night. And Robbie Gould is very good at that. But the 49ers just beat up on the Cowboys, and the Cowboys pulled an Indianapolis Colts and had some weird ass play that did not work.
Man, just the Cowboys being the Cowboys once again. Honestly, we don't. That's what we just leave this segment off at and just talk about what's next, because that's how bad the games were this weekend.
Yeah, the games were close. Like 2 of them were close, 2 were blowouts, and 1 was only close because the quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
had Mahomes not got hurt, yeah,
that game probably is different.
They could have lit him up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. It was definitely interesting, but we'll talk about the upcoming games shortly. This one I found completely interesting was Ed Reed is out as the Bethune-Cookman head football coach. He hasn't coached a game yet, but they didn't ratify his contract for the bowl game or whatever. And he put him on blast. Like, I love it. I love that he literally just ripped into him. And good for him. Gotta say that. Good for him.
I'm actually, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, because listen, you want the guy to come out there, you want some star status, but yet you don't want to pay the guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't. It didn't, on top of it all, you have like below average facilities. He's sitting there saying, listen, you want me to come in and help you so you can get these donors, facilities, and everything up, and you ain't even ratified my contract. I mean, he doesn't need the money. If he needed the money, he would definitely have gone into coaching a while ago. He doesn't need the money. He wants to go coach these young guys to get them better acclimated, to give them a shot. And you can't even. And this is what happened with these colleges. These colleges just assume that these guys are supposed to walk in and just like. And then then people wonder why people, hey, listen, I'm going to offer you 50 mil for 10 years. Okay, I'll go take it.
Yeah.
Because, listen. Yeah.
His message to the players was great. I thought, was intense, was yelling and screaming, but he had the right to do that.
Right.
Did you watch any of that, Kevin?
Yeah, all of his yelling and everything. Yeah, I mean, it's messed up. It's really messed up. I was just looking at a couple other things that he originally was offered the Jackson State job when Dion left for Colorado, but he turned it down to go to Bethune-Cookman. And
that makes sense too, because you don't want to have to try to convince players to stay that we're going to leave.
Right.
That's tough.
Right.
Yeah, which was definitely interesting. I didn't know that, but yeah, really unfortunate what happened with him. I'm sure Ed Reed can probably go to another school to go ahead and coach if he wants to coach kids. I watched the thing when he actually was on live with Dion, and Dion was like, this is just one of those lessons in life that you tried your best, and just for this time, it wasn't unfortunately good enough.
Right.
And that's okay.
He'll probably go back to Miami.
I'm sure. I mean, somebody will take Ed Reed.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's a star. He's a personality. people like the younger kids of these age, he's like one of the guys that they probably YouTube because of his play when he was a player.
Right.
But yeah, serves a hard lesson to those schools when they try to bring in a player, former player, and if you don't have the money to pay him, then don't try
don't
to
go
bring this
after
guy
him.
in. Yeah.
And now it's just going to ruin things for them for not this year, but probably the next two seasons at least.
Maybe more than that, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just giving it like the minimum of maybe just a couple of years.
Yeah.
But hopefully Ed Reed lands on his feet. I don't think he really cares. Honestly, I think he just wants to help kids and coach them up. So if he wants to do that, come on up to Morgantown, Ed. We'll take you. We'll open our arms up to you and give you a big old hug. Come on up.
Lord knows you need it.
Shut up, Cyrus.
It's tough. We'll get to that segment momentarily.
Well, good news for my team. The Patriots have an offensive coordinator. Yay. Finally.
Yes,
Patricia?
the great
Cyrus,
Bill
I'm going to
O'Brien.
kick you off of this podcast because of that. You're done. You're done. You're out. You're done.
Sorry.
He's never allowed back.
Couldn't
Not
help it.
allowed
Sorry.
back after this episode. Done. You're cut. Your co-host, third co-host chair is now going to get removed and thrown in the
I was
garbage.
just getting used to this.
Yeah, good for you. You screwed your pooch. Like I screwed the intro, you screwed up your opportunity for a podcast that makes no money.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I just
Struggle.
No, so the New England Patriots, after a week of interviewing offensive coordinator hopefuls, signed Bill O'Brien. I don't know the contract length or anything. Hasn't been made out to the general public yet, but he is now stepping back into a role that he held 12 years ago.
Shout out to Bill.
Yeah, I'm happy. He gets an actual play caller on the sidelines and not a fat man with a pencil in his hat like this, looking at a play sheet that's laminated.
Nice.
Now
you gotta go pick up your pen.
I got it. We're good.
Okay.
But no, and then they're apparently signing the offensive line coach from University of Oregon too. So
fun.
Good for them.
Yeah, some retooling going on. I'm very happy.
I think Bill had enough of the nonsense he had to deal with on offense. I think he just had enough. And
then, as we were talking about before the podcast, I sent a thing over to Kevin and Andrew in our group chat that apparently the Arizona Cardinals are looking to trade DeAndre Hopkins, which makes sense because they're in a total rebuild at this point. They owe him a buttload of money, and they probably don't want to pay him a buttload of money. So apparently the Ravens and the Patriots are the top two teams. God, I hope the Patriots get him because Bill has tried to trade for him for the past 10 years, and it hasn't happened yet. Give me it one time.
I would tell you right now, if he goes to the Patriots, I can see Lamar Jackson going greener pastures.
I agree. I would too.
Yeah,
I would too.
I think Lamar's out anyway. I honestly think that.
Here's the reason I say that. If you go out and you bring him in, right? That gives them a number one receiver. That gives them a guy that they have to worry about defending, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that helps everybody out, right? Offensively, and they got rid of Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator. So now you can start from scratch. You can use the players that you have. You can set them up in the right places and then make a difference for Lamar Jackson. I mean, the guy is an amazing quarterback. How could you not give him a number one receiver? How could you not give him? I mean, he's got one of the top 5 tight ends in the league, right? Yes, but he doesn't have anybody else. No offense, he doesn't have anybody else. I mean, who's he
You
gonna?
ain't lying, yeah.
I mean, he could throw the ball to me and Merritt. That's about as close as he's going to get to having a number one receiver. The other guys just for some reason they can't run a route. They drop the ball.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? I can catch a football.
So can I.
I may not catch it every single time, but I can catch it.
Yeah.
I can do the George Kittle catch where he tapped it up. I'm the king of that. I promise. The tap ball and just catching it randomly. I got you every time. But
real quick,
yo,
I just got this update that came through. So for the NBA All-Star game this year, the players, whoever the captains are, they will not pick the teams until the night of the All-Star game, which will be a pre-game taped little footage that they'll do live on air before the game. So we're gonna find out the starters Thursday, and then we'll find the reserves later on. But the picking of the teams will not be done until the day of the All-Star game. Very interesting.
That is
different.
Yeah. I don't know
how to feel about that.
I think
Do you have an idea?
I think I have an idea what they're doing. So it's sort of I can understand why they did it now, because
backyard basketball.
Yeah, literally backyard basketball. Coach has to coach on the fly. He can't formulate a game plan before he walks in. He's got to, because you could tell that some guys didn't want to play with some guys during these All-Star games who picked, when they were picking teams. You could just tell. you just like, I don't.
I also think this is just a conspiracy theory for me. I just think maybe this could be a ploy to somehow maybe have LeBron's team possibly lose this All-Star game, because he's been 5-0 in all the All-Star games where they've done this format. So maybe just another wrinkle to just make it a little bit tougher.
Is he 1v1 of the captains? Is he top one?
Well, if the results stay as so, the captains would be for the LeBron would be one of them, and it's either between Giannis and Kevin Durant.
Well, Kevin Durant won't be in it because he's done.
But he can still be a captain though. He did it last time. He can still be a captain.
Yeah, but I also don't like that because you're not playing, so don't be involved.
But Kevin Durant also says he wants to play. He said,
I don't care.
I want to play. I want to be part of all these events. That was he told reporters on Tuesday, aka today.
Yeah, but he also is out another 2+ weeks.
I know.
With his knee.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I thought I'd bring that to everyone's attention because I know that's going to be another podcast idea.
That is very interesting. I do like that. It'll be fun. I agree with that one. All right. So West Virginia basketball team sucks. We did get at least one Big 12 basketball win against TCU. That was awesome. Yeah. And then we couldn't hold a lead against Texas again.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. It's like there's really not much to just say. It's just that pretty much, hey, go into the game, see what the best you can do. If you win, you probably end up beating a top 5 team that's ranked right now, which is crazy.
6 of the teams are ranked.
Yeah. And what conference
None
has 6 ranked teams in it where you got to do a round robin? You're not just playing them once, you're playing them twice. So, I mean,
yeah, it's
still not looking good, but it's crazy because we could still say that we still have a chance to make this respectable.
We still.
I mean, crazy. But if you think about it, if you got 6 teams ranked if you got 6 teams ranked in there, right, in your division, I would think that at some point in time that should make you that much better come tournament time. So, yeah, you know what? You don't win or you don't whatever.
We have to make the tournament first, Cyrus.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that field of 64, right? They have a shot of winning the field of 64. What I'm saying is, if you put a good enough, put a good enough show in and get a couple wins here and there, especially like they have that little thing where they say you got to get one win or a couple wins at this level, and then you got to get another one to this pod or whatever it is pod they're looking at, right? If they can get a couple wins like that, I mean, hey, I'll take being seventh or eighth in the league and then turn around and make the tournament as maybe a fifth or sixth seed or something like that. I mean, that's respectable,
I
especially
mean,
when you
at
got
this
everybody
rate,
ranked. Yeah,
at this rate, if we could get in as like a 8 or a 9th seed, I would even take that.
yeah.
I just want us to make the tournament.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's just so I can
I
be
don't even-
excited about watching the tournament.
I'll still be excited. I'll just be more happy and
Yeah.
more player would pay a little bit more attention to a certain game. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Basketball is kind of up in the air. They play Auburn this weekend for the Big 12 SEC matchups. So we'll see how that goes. And just think, Kevin, next year when Houston joins, there'll be 7 teams in the Big 12 that are ranked basketball wise.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, you can't forget
the name of the
Cincinnati's
game.
pretty good too.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, and those
it
Florida
just
guys
gets
are pretty good too.
harder and harder and harder. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what happens at the Division 1 level. We just have to somehow stay afloat and stay pace. But yeah, they got to figure it out, and hopefully they do, because right now, whatever they got ain't working.
Nope. Football, not much. They've got a couple transfers that have come in over the past week. But it looks like from their Instagram post and their Twitter page, the boys are back lifting, getting ready for the spring game, which should be coming up in a couple of months. This means I need to put my season ticket deposit down so I can get my season tickets for next year.
I'm very excited for you.
I am too. I'm the plan is to get season tickets and then sell majority of them to make money back so that I can buy all the pit tickets that we're going to need.
Fun times. Fun times.
You have no idea. There's going to be so many tickets.
But I will say definitely football. I listened to Neil Brown's like end of season report.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, I was like, now that you've admitted yourself that this season was a disappointment, you need to fix it. And if you don't fix it next year, it's gonna be bye-bye.
100%.
It's gonna start what his hopes would be, and we'll have this video on video from January 24th at 7:46 p.m.
Oh boy.
It would be when those Panthers of the city of Pittsburgh come to Morgantown
on September 16th.
On September 16th, me and Merritt and Cyrus should be leaving that stadium with a win, singing "Country Roads."
Yeah, if
that will set the tone. That will set the tone for the season, because I know they play Penn State. Will probably get blown out, but if they come to the brawl and they perform and they win, that could be the changing of the rest of the regular season.
I agree. And it could also be the end of the Neil Brown era. If they do not win, he's done. I don't expect him to be back the following week.
And Pittsburgh is the rival, is your rival, right?
Right. There's
the main rival.
We yell "eat shit Pitt" because we hate each other.
Right. I would say this. If you look at it from like the Jim Harbaugh perspective, right? He wasn't winning against Ohio State. They told him, listen, you don't start winning against Ohio State, you're gone. Made a difference. Maybe this is what he needs. You're not gonna win. You don't win against Pitt, against our rival, you gotta go.
You're
That's
right.
exactly what he's going to turn out to be. Yeah.
God, I really hope that happens, because I can't with this shit anymore. It's I don't want to hear trust the climb. We're all trusting the climb, blah, 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 because it's getting to the point where it is exhausting. You know,
It sucks.
I don't want to be this team. I want to be a winning team. I want to be able to go to bowl games and be comfortable winning bowl games. You know,
which we haven't been in years.
You guys sound like Cowboys fans.
Oh God, we are like the epitome of Cowboys fans in college football. I will 100% say that. We come back for the crap every single year and hope and pray that we're really good. But guess what? At the end of the year, we're a disappointment.
It's rough.
Or we could be like that that high school kid that does something really stupid and disappoints their parents. That's West Virginia football.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's just how it goes with us. So we'll see. But as long as the big group of us that's going to that game in 8 months is yelling and screaming, having a blast, and walking out with a win and drinking a lot of beer, then we'll be happy. If we don't, I'll still drink a lot of beer and probably throw a Pitt fan over the football stadium's boundary.
Can't wait to see that.
Oh my God. No, that can't be on video.
We'll blur you out.
Oh, blur me out. Great. The big actually, yeah, that would work. The big white guy in Morgantown threw a Pitt fan over the stadium. If it's me or
Cyrus that did it, then we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, well, more or less Cyrus. No offense, Cyrus. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
The struggle.
It's a struggle in Morgantown.
Yeah, I get that.
It is real. It's definitely real. But Kevin, what do you got on? You don't have a jersey. You got no wrestling stuff on.
I don't have a jersey. I don't have a wrestling shirt on. Honestly,
was it one of those days?
I figured I'd switch it up. For those that don't know, Merritt, and it's just a little spoiler to what Merritt is wearing. We had a little We're Out Here series for Brooklyn. You guys saw in the video, we stopped by the Nike that's in Fifth Avenue. And what I did when I was there, I went and got me a little custom hoodie. I got a little custom train on there. I got a little patch.
I need the hood.
Here.
I need the hood.
I got a little Nike. I got my little patch there. And then hold on. I gotta take the mic off. Got a little pigeon.
What? Oh, that's nice.
The pigeon was the best part of that whole thing.
And then I have another logo on the back too. But yeah, it's also cold in this room, so I figured I would this perfect time to wear this hoodie. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Merritt, describe to us, you're not only wearing a hat today, but you're wearing a jersey.
Right. So I've worn this jersey already. I've worn the Islanders jersey. But because you and I are going to your first ever not your first ever NHL game, but your first ever Islanders game, is mine.
Islanders game, yeah.
This coming Saturday. So my buddy Mark got me a New York Islanders hat. So basically I will be wearing this, but I'll definitely have a sweatshirt on underneath this jersey because we all know hockey arenas are fucking cold.
Yes, it is.
So I'm excited. Kevin, I bought my train ticket this morning.
Okay. I have to buy the parking pass. However, I can buy the parking pass.
I found out you can do it. Just type in UBS like parking, and then you can go to ticket. It gives you a link. It goes to Ticketmaster, and you can buy general admission parking, which is like a quarter mile from the arena.
I just got to figure out that. I think there's one there for the Emerald parking.
Yeah, that's area. What it is, and it's general admission.
So I guess I'm assuming. I hope it's there's a shuttle or something, or we just walk. I don't know. I'm not versed to the UBS arena, and thank God I looked it up beforehand, because if I were to just go and to find out that I need to do something beforehand, I would be so screwed.
What would it have taken you to get there via the train or anything?
Too long.
Really?
Too long. Well, because I would need to take at least a bus or train to New York City, and then I would have to take
the Penn. You have to go from Penn.
I'd have to go from Penn Station to somehow on the LIRR.
Yeah, that's easy though. That part was easy to get there.
And then whatever other train that I'd have to take, it's too much work. I
Yeah,
might
you
as well
switched.
just drive.
You might have to switch at Jamaica.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I might as well just drive. So it'll be like 4 hours of driving that day. So I'm gonna be it's gonna be a busy day for me. So I have a first birthday party that I'm going to that's gonna be down in Pennsylvania. That starts at like earlier in the morning. So that's gonna be until afternoon. We drive back. Then I want to get into my car, probably stash like 3 to 4 energy drinks for that ride, and then I'll meet you there
Somewhere.
somewhere at the
Because
stadium.
my train, so they only allow the UBS Arena stop heading westward. It only is open during game days or like events at the
Yeah.
arena, not at all times. I get there by 6:20 is when my train drops me off. I have an hour and 10 minutes to figure out what the heck to do in my life until the game starts.
Yeah, there's stuff around it. Like that's what I'm like.
I don't know. I
I
haven't looked it up, so I will definitely do some more research.
There's not even like a bar or a restaurant you can go to.
There's gotta be, and I'll just go drink with some Islanders fans and pretend to know stuff.
Yeah, I don't have any Islander paraphernalia, so I'm literally just gonna have to just get it there.
I was gonna say, we know what Kevin's buying on Saturday.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
No, you're not. You're not ready to spend the money.
Hey Kev, just remember when you're taking that 4-hour drive, you might just want to do like we out there, just show you on the road, like we out there on the road. And look at that big tree as I go by it the third time.
look at it's New York City. You just pan across New York City when you're driving too, and there's New York City at night.
I was gonna try and do that, but like the way my car is set up, like I don't have it like docked onto my like dashboard, so like it's like down on the bottom to where like I have to hook up for like my car plan stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'll figure it out. But I'm excited. Islanders game. And I love how when me and Mary did this, we like literally did this spur of the moment.
Yeah, months ago.
Whatever. And then it's also the same day as Royal Rumble, which I didn't know it was the same day. So I will be looking up what's happening while we're at the game at the same time. So
just don't fall asleep at the game this time.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's where the energy drinks are gonna come in, so I could like actually be awake. Well,
Perfect.
also, I'm not gonna be as exhausted because
we're not gonna be walking around all day.
Also,
and no wedding.
And I didn't get wasted at a wedding, so this will be much easier.
Yeah. All right, so we already talked about NBA trade deadline rumbling, so we won't mention that again. Let's talk about the championship games for the NFL coming up for the divisions on Sunday. So first game up is the Eagles 49ers in Philly. Cyrus, are you lucky enough to go to the game and piss off a lot of Eagle fans?
I will unfortunately be in sunny Florida because my cousin's getting married. So
that's probably for the best.
That is probably for the best, yeah.
Yeah, but my wife is throwing the party here. She wants to throw a party here for the Eagles 49ers game.
Wait. Your cousin's getting married.
Yeah.
And your wife's not going with you?
Yeah, she's a school teacher, so the days don't work out because the wedding's on Sunday. So, yeah.
Wait. He's got the. Oh, bro, you better be like the Allstate commercial where you're watching your phone like this and be like,
The wedding starts at 4, so I get at least an hour to watch the game. Well, 45 minutes because obviously they start like 3:15 or whatever it is, but like 45 minutes to watch at least part of the game. Now. Does that mean I will not? Does that mean I because being that there's no wedding party, I can actually keep the phone on my lap and actually watch the game without the sound on. Hopefully, the ceremony's quick.
And just don't start yelling if something good happens or bad.
Yeah.
So
it's all white wedding too. So I got a white 49er shirt. I'm probably purposely going to wear it underneath the other shirt just to piss people off. Because there's all Eagles fans down there. My whole family is Eagles fans. I'm just gonna piss everybody off.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We need pictures.
Oh, I'll give you some. I'll send some.
Oh, yes.
I love it.
All right. So we already know Cyrus' prediction. It's 49ers.
I think it's gonna be a close game though.
I do think too.
I think
Kevin, what do you think?
It's gonna be close. I definitely think whoever is the one that's going to like get ahead by just a little bit more than a touchdown, they're gonna be the ones to pull it out because I think the defense will. I don't know how to describe it. I think it's just gonna be a rough house game.
It's gonna be a really physical game.
It's gonna be very physical. It's gonna be cold. I think it's scheduled to rain that day. I just hope the Eagles lose.
Yeah.
I just hate the Eagles. Eagles fans are so annoying. So honestly, Cyrus, I'll have my Jerry Rice jersey on and cheering for the 49ers.
I appreciate that. I really do, Kev. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I will be rooting for the 49ers with no 49ers gear on, Cyrus. I do apologize for that. But if they do win and say the Bengals don't win, I will buy myself a Brock Purdy jersey because that dude is awesome. I love him. I love Brock Purdy. I agree, Kevin. I think, honestly, whoever scores first, if it's a touchdown, or a field goal, I think that's going to be your team that wins all in all overall. I do give the edge to the 49ers, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because they're all healthy.
Right.
Though they did have a guy get arrested for domestic violence.
But be honest with you, until they clear the charges, they'll still have him play.
Right. He's still going to be, unless the NFL says no.
I guess it really depends on the severity of it, because a lot of times it's been depending on the severity of, like, if it was more or less like we just had a spat, you were arguing and people heard whatever it is, then it may just be right. Well, you just don't go to the house, stay here, or don't whatever.
Yeah. So,
but if it's something where it's like a physical nature where you laid hands, I don't see him playing.
No. So
I don't see him playing if that's the case.
But also, the Eagles we all know Eagles have a very good offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
But the only team that I can see that it has the same type of firepower is the 49ers.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And honestly, if I was looking at the game and say we're just looking at it objectively, right? I'm not like saying I'm not a 49ers fan or not. I would say right now that the 49ers had a better defense. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They have a better defense, coaching, everything else. They just have the better defense. Offensively, Philly is that much better because of the explosive players that they have.
Right.
I'm not saying that the 49ers don't have explosive players, but if let's say if Trey Lance was playing or Garoppolo was playing and they were playing at elite quarterback status or playing very well, right? I would say it's a wash, because I think you will put up the same amount of points, right? I think it's going to be between 10 and 21 points if everybody's healthy, if you had your top quarterbacks in and your top players in, right? But because you have Brock Purdy, I'm not saying that he can't play well, he won't, but to be a rookie, you do have that possibility of making rookie mistakes,
right?
And to give it to a guy who's been there doing it for 2 years and he understands what he's doing and what the offense wants, right? He's not going to screw it up. He's going to be the guy that said, listen, I'm not going to make a stupid decision that's going to cost us the game. If we're only 3 points down and I can throw the ball away and live to fight another day, to come back in 2 minutes to get a shot to tie the game up, I'll do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I that's where I think this game lies at this point. But if I was doing checking it off, who was better, I would say offensively, Philly's got it right now. Special teams, defense, 49ers. And, coaching, I would say, is sort of a wash.
Yeah, both coaches are really good.
Good, yeah.
So, all right, so I think
we're all... say this, though.
Yo.
I will say the winner of this game has the higher probability of winning it all. I'm
I
gonna
think
say
so.
that.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
think so.
Depending on who wins the AFC
Right.
Yeah.
So
championship game.
let's talk about the AFC championship game. It is now going to be hosted in Arrowhead Stadium, which makes no sense to me since you're going to host the Bills Chiefs game in Atlanta. Why aren't we doing the same for the the Chiefs Bengals?
Because the record because either way, if you look at it, if the Bills had played that
But
game,
the Bills and the Bengals
right,
have the
but
exact same record, and you
no, not
yes,
really.
they were both
No.
12-4 or 13-4, I believe. Or 12.
No.
No, they were both 12-4 because they only played 16 games.
When they were getting ready to play that game that DeMar Hamlin got hurt in, that game was supposed to be if the Bills won, the Bills were getting the number one seed.
No,
right?
they still had to. The Kansas
Right,
City
but I'm
still had
saying,
to
all
lose.
right, I guess what I'm saying is they had to win that game in order to still be into that number one seed area, right? Cincinnati, whether they won, Cincinnati, whether they won that game or not, they were still sitting at the third seed.
No, they weren't.
because the Bills ended the
if
season 13-3.
okay,
The Bengals ended it 12-4. That's the reason why the
Right.
Bills would have had to go away, because then it would have caused the Chiefs and the Bills to be tied. That's why they would have to be in the different stadium,
Correct.
because of the fact that if the Bills went through with that game and won that game, the Chiefs and them would have had the same record. And
Right.
then that's where the conflict would have been. But that's why, but the Bengals, it's fine because they were, no matter what, the third seed, as Cyrus was saying.
well, if they had won, they would have been the second seed because they would have.
Right, but they would have.
Yeah.
But that's the same. But the scenario
Right.
they
No,
got
I
was,
understand.
Yeah,
but
the scenario was that because they would have had. They're saying that because somebody asked that question and they said in order for that to really work out, Cincinnati would have had to win both games in order to get to the second seed. But
Right.
that wasn't they knew that wasn't going to happen. So, but
yeah.
So
I
speaking
still-
of this game, I think normally I'm a Pat Mahomes guy, and I think that he would pull it out, but I just think that Joe is too cool, man.
dude. Mahomes playing in the second half with a high ankle sprain. He ain't playing. He's not practicing this week. We all know that. You can't.
right.
Like this, they even talked about it after the game, and they're like, "Yeah, you could play because all the adrenaline's pumping through your body, but you going home Sunday night, you're not moving or Saturday night. You're not moving your ankle."
Yeah, no.
I'm-
I mean, I'll be honest with you. By Thursday, he's probably. I mean, they would have to check it Wednesday night, but Wednesday
Yeah, they
night.
need to check it tomorrow, is what they
Yeah,
said.
by Wednesday night they need to check because Wednesday night, if it's still, I'm not gonna. What I'm gonna say is if it's still tender, right? Because if it's still like tender to the point where like you can't really touch it, I don't. I mean, if he plays, it's they'll have to put so much tape around it that.
Oh, but he's not gonna not play. He's going to play.
Yeah.
So,
No,
like,
yeah. I mean, yeah. That's a given. I mean, he's not going to not play. Yeah.
it just depends on what type of version we get. But I also don't. Even if he was like 100%, I give the Bengals this game.
I want
It's
to
gonna
say
be tough though. I
yeah.
just think that like for the Bengals to definitely secure it, it helps that he's hurt right now. But if Mahomes goes for like that strong start, and then Kansas City gets a stop or two, and then Mahomes goes back and drives it all the way to score 7 points again, that's gonna be, I think, gonna be a little bit tougher on the Bengals because I mean the Bengals team is not the greatest. They've just been able to capitalize on great opportunities, but I don't know if Mahomes gets ahead of it fast enough, then that's when I would give the edge. But again, he's still injured. The sprained ankle is going to be a big deal. He's not going to be able to be running around the pocket as much as he used to. He's going to be a lot slower.
I would say this. I would say I would like to see Cincinnati win, but if you look at it, because Kansas City doesn't have that over the top guy like they did with Tyreek Hill, or the guy that when they give the ball to every time. Now you can't focus on him. Before you could focus on him and take him away, right?
Right.
Now you have everything spread out. You
Yeah.
could try to take stuff away. And here's a kicker, right? Like you said, he's hurt. So
But
maybe that ball that he throws to maybe that ball he throws to Juju isn't on the tightrope like it normally is sometimes, and maybe he'll drop it, right? But if he was totally healthy, I don't think that's the case. I think he's throwing it to the guy that's open. It's on the tightrope or whatever you want to call it. It's there's no sort of wiggle to it. But like you said, with him being hurt, who knows, right?
So I'm gonna go after Kevin on his first comment, and then I'm gonna after you on your comment. The Bengals defense has been one of the better defenses in the NFL for a majority of this season. They walloped the Bills, who were supposed to be a high octane offense, and stonewalled them. Stephon Diggs didn't have a good game. Gabe Davis had one big catch. Josh Allen looked like nothing. They also have one of the best defensive edge rushers on that line.
Hendrickson, yeah.
He's phenomenal, because now you have to worry about him coming around. And with an injured Patrick Mahomes, him coming around the corner, he has to be able to move. He's not going to be able to. So I give the edge to the Bengals on that end. When it comes to your point, Cyrus, with last year, the years before, they've had Tyreek Hill, they've had Travis Kelce, they've had you've had a couple guys that you need to pay attention to. Really, that's it. And if one of them goes off, one of them goes off. That's fine. You can kind of live with it. Right. If Tyreek went off, you can't stop him. He's fast as all hell. I think this team is a little different. They do have more playmakers when they brought in Juju, and they have Hardman, and they have these other guys. But I'm not as worried because they're not as explosive. And the cornerbacks that are on the Cincinnati Bengals may not be the best. Like Eli Apple, we all know, is total garbage.
Yes.
Like, come on, he's total garbage. But he's good enough to go up against somebody like Juju and stay with him. I think, and I even if Patrick Mahomes was 100% healthy, I still think the Bengals offensively wipe the floor with the Kansas City defense, because Kansas City's defense has not been phenomenal. And it's been okay.
That's where I was going to go. That's what I was going to say to you. That if we were going to go to the breakdown part of it, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That since that if I'm looking at the 4 teams left in the playoffs, Kansas City's defense is the worst out of all of them. So
by far, yeah.
Right. So I mean, but the only thing I would say is this: Kansas City has 3 running backs that do 3 different things. If they decide they want to slow the game down and make them have to, seriously go through 98 yards or whatever it is for Cincinnati to score, right? And they run the ball efficiently enough, and you're only asking Mahomes to really throw maybe a handful of times, that really is a recipe for success at this point, being that he's injured. If you really think about it.
Yeah, but also Cincinnati is 3-0 against the Chiefs the past 3 games. So
true.
I will take that. I just have to remember, when did they beat them last time?
The last time was during the regular season.
Yeah, 27-24 at not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean,
literally like a month and a half ago they beat them.
And that game, if you watch that game, that game was damn near a knockdown, drag out game. Right. Like it was a lot of running, a lot of defense, a lot of hitting. It was a really physical game.
Both teams can do it. Both teams can just put the ball down on the field, like in the running back's hands with Joe Mixon and P. Ryan. Then you have the guys on the other side of the ball, McKissick,
Shanko,
and Edwards, right?
Right. No,
Um,
he's hurt. He's done for the season. I forget who the other guy is. There's one more guy.
yeah, I can't remember
They
his
have
name.
McKinnon, Pacheco, and then there's just one other younger running back. I forgot his name.
Yeah, they use him as like the last like option when one of them went to like a breather or something.
So
like that.
No matter what, I think it's both games this weekend are going to be phenomenal football games to watch. I will give the edge to the Bengals on this one by the smallest degree. It's basically the same with the 49ers and Eagles. Right. It's going to be a dogfight, and whoever makes the first touchdown and first score and does not turn the ball over once will be your winner. You turn that ball over in either of these games, you are more than likely going to lose.
Yeah, that's going to be that's definitely going to be tough because that's like I said, it's going to be a really tight game. Let's put it this way: if they get both 1 and 1 turnover, then fine. I think you just kind of reset back at 0 again. But if it's like
if you lose the turnover differential, then you're done.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll be back next week to see if our predictions are right about who wins. Cyrus may not be. I already told him he was not allowed back. So Cyrus might be,
You never know. May sneak on. You never know. May sneak on. You never know.
Oh God, I will deny it. Block you.
Oh my God, can you imagine if Cyrus just snuck on one day? That'd be actually hilarious.
That would be really funny. I would die.
All right. Well, I can't do it now. Now that I said it, I can't do it. I can't do it now. So.
No. Okay, so let's talk about this. I brought this up. This is one of the topics that we randomly thought this would be fun to talk about one day on the pod, and lo and behold, perfect day to do it because we have no wrestling.
Sad face.
I know, sad face. We're going to talk about the best college quarterback to ever play the game. This was inspired by an Instagram post that I shared with Kevin and Andrew. They had the likes of Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow, Vince Young. So I'm going to let Cyrus go first because he'll have the most long-winded answer out of all of us.
I'm going to go with Dan Marino.
Wow.
College quarterback Dan Marino.
Were you even around when he was in college?
Yes, but I did watch a couple of his games when they did like the college classics and stuff like that. That man can throw before his knee injuries. Oh my God. That some of the stuff that he used to throw, it's just the talent he had with his arm and the pinpoint accuracy. And like I said, before his injury, before his knees went bad, he was a beast.
All right. I don't like that he was a Pittsburgh Panther, but okay.
I know. I'm sorry. That
All right, Kevin, who do you think?
All right. So I went and did some research on this one because I really was like, there's so many people that you could like throw in this category. But I think when I think of like the best college quarterback, I think about presence they've had, their leadership. I think about wins. I think about, effective wins, especially during that era, like how, like the meaning of it. So for me, I am going with Gainesville's own Tim Tebow as the greatest college quarterback ever. Really? Now, a lot of people will be like, why? But I also think about, so number one, when I'm looking at these players, I'm not looking at their performance of post-college either. I'm looking at strictly their time in their however many years and 4 years. And I don't think you can deny when it was Tebow Mania from that mid-early 2000s, he was the star. ESPN talked about him constantly. Everybody loved him, or you really hated him. I just thought, hold on. I even got stats for you. Here we go. So 3 seasons as a starter, 35-6, 145 total touchdowns, QB rating of 169.7. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, consensus All-American, 2 national titles, 1 as a starter, 2 SEC titles, 1 as a starter. And I just like when you think about college football, I just think about like how much he meant to like his school at the time and how much he meant to like college football at the time. Nobody could beat that Florida spread. And, he was as dynamic as they come. And when I think of college football, I don't think you can think of like, I don't think people would like miss out on saying his name.
Interesting. I just don't like him because he's Tim Tebow.
And again, that's exactly why the effect, like, people don't like him for whatever reason. He's a stud. I mean, he's also a born Filipino, but that's like you can feel like there's people that just hate him, and that's the effect that he had during that time, and that's why I think like that stuff matters too. So I want to go. I'm going Tim Tebow.
I can't. Kev, you're killing me. God.
Yeah,
right.
Kevin, I really did not expect you to throw
Tim Tebow
out there. I was expecting someone else. Like honestly,
Johnny
anybody.
Manziel, Manziel.
I mean,
he was up there too.
You could have gone. You could have gone Peyton Manning. You could have gone anywhere,
Tim
Tebow.
But still,
you could have gone with Marcus Mariota, Hawaiian.
You
could have gone with so many options.
Marcus Mariota was on mine too. He was one of my 5 that I was looking at. But when you look at the dynamic that he had at his time in Florida,
are you talking about all the murderers on his team too? Are you like putting that into mindset?
He had 4 wide receivers that had over 1,000 yards. That were 1,000-yard players that went to the NFL. Of course he was going to look good. He threw a bubble screen. The guy went 80 yards. Nobody was touching him.
And that's what the spread was, and they won him the Heisman Trophy. I don't know what you guys want me to say.
I gotta say this. If Reggie Bush got his Heisman Trophy taken away, Tim Tebow needs to give him his, because I do not believe Tim Tebow should have ever won a Heisman Trophy, because he's not, in my opinion, not that good of a football player. In my opinion,
I just think he was a very good leader. Listen, he was a very good leader, but everything
Cyrus,
else, yes.
You have to be a good leader when 95% of your team is convicts.
That's true.
But did they know about that at the time?
Yes, they did. We are getting that Netflix documentary. I've already read numerous reports that they're doing a Netflix documentary on those Florida Gators. So everyone knew that they were messed up. Yeah, Kevin,
Man.
your pick is just like, I love you, but
it threw everybody off. It threw me and Merrick off.
I don't even know. I don't know if I want to go to a hockey game with you anymore. Cyrus, you want to come? You just missed your cousin's wedding for a little bit. Come up.
I would love to, but my now you're gonna fly me back.
I got you covered. Don't worry. Wow.
Maybe Andrew should edit that part out. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, Andrew, can you edit out this whole section of Kevin talking about Tim Tebow?
I'm gonna be edited out. It's all good.
Kevin is so mad right now.
No,
he's like, what the hell?
I didn't know this was gonna enrage. This is the first time in our history of our podcast I've enraged everyone on the podcast that I made such a controversial.
It's usually me. It's usually me that does it.
Yeah, I just don't get it, because I mean, it's not like he threw for 500 yards and like 4 touchdowns in a game. He was averaging maybe 250, maybe 300 yards a game, and he was throwing bubble screens. I mean,
he doesn't have an arm.
No,
but at the same time, that was the game of like college football at the time. That's how they won. All he had to do was manage the game, and he was a leader, and
So
showed
if
the
he
spirit.
just has to manage a game, he should never win a Heisman Trophy for just managing a game.
I mean,
Because
guys,
you're not dynamic enough to do anything.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. He has a Heisman Trophy on here. He's they still has a national championship on here. I don't know what you guys want me to do. He is. That's what it is.
Hey, listen, if that's the case, what's the kid that played in Alabama that the Eagles had that they traded?
Jalen Hurts?
No. Started with a B.
Sam Bradford?
Yeah. Sam Bradford.
He went to Oklahoma.
All right. Well, whatever. He should be a greatest quarterback known to man, because he wouldn't took them to a title game, and all he did was just throw darts everywhere. He did the same damn thing as Tim Tebow.
Well, he actually had an arm though. He could throw the ball deep field.
Well, I mean,
much better than
potato.
Much better than Tim Tebow. Let's be honest here.
All right. We spent a lot of time, so we'll at least cut our podcast from 2 hours to an hour and a half, since this part will be cut out. Merritt, your top quarterback.
So I was up between two guys, both very similar type playing styles. So I'm between Robert Griffin III and Cam Newton. Both dynamic players, actually could throw the ball. Both Heisman Trophy winners. One is a national championship. Robert Griffin was not. I will go with Cam Newton by the smallest edge, mainly because of the national championship that he won. Let's be honest, that 2010 season was electric. That Auburn team was unreal, and no one could stop Cam Newton. A 6'7" guy behind center.
He was like 6'5", like 6'5", 6'6". I don't think he was 6'7".
Potato.
Yeah.
But he ran all over everybody, threw the ball over everybody. I can't say no to him not being the best quarterback of college football.
Yeah.
He did more than anyone else could ever do.
That's very low.
In a one season that he actually played, because he decided to steal a laptop and throw it out of a window when he was in Florida. So think of this. If he doesn't do that, we don't have Tim Tebow.
That's true.
Damn it, Cam Newton. I'm going to tag him in this video and see if he actually responds. That'd be great. Please tag him, Kevin. Let's see what happens.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin's like, I hate you guys. I hate you.
Oh my
God. Kevin, I hope you know we love you.
Yeah, whatever. Next topic.
Oh God, this is going to get worse. I think for Kevin, I really do.
Probably. Go ahead and ask next topic, because he probably has another team, another inspirational team that he wants to put up.
Okay, we're going to start with Kevin on this one, because it's all hell. In your opinion, who is the best overall college football team of all time? I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting.
I mean, well, damn, I actually had mine narrowed down to 2.
Ooh, okay. Who you got?
All right.
So for me,
excuse me. I'm sorry.
This is just, as Merritt and Cyrus laugh about my last answer. So, my first one was the 2004 USC Trojans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They were 13-0.
All right.
They won the national championship. This was that prime year that Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart had tons of NFL players on that roster.
Was Lendell White on that team?
Lendell White was a sophomore on that team.
Who was the other running back?
I have Lee Webb. he was the senior. Bush was a sophomore.
Yeah.
Lee Webb. Then it was Lendale White, and then you also had David Kurtman and Herschel Dennis. Those are the other guys that got like yards. But the main ones on that team, Reggie Bush had a 908 yards, and Lendale White had 1,000 yards that season. So that team was one that was balancing. Then the other one, which might cause a little bit of a stir, would be the 2001 Miami Hurricanes.
Ooh, you definitely going to the jailhouse on that one, bro.
Mhm.
So you like the jail teams?
Well, hold on. Let me just introduce you to the starting lineup. You have Ken Dorsey, who is NFL quarterback, Clint Portis. You also had Najee Davenport and Willis McGahee and Frank Gore all on this team. Your starting wide receiver as a sophomore was Andre Johnson. Jeremy Shockey was on this team.
You know what's funny is Bleacher Report has them as the #1 team of all time as well.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do.
Shout out to Bleachers Report out here. Well, yeah, I mean and Ed Reed was on this team. I'm just looking at like the roster. Jonathan Vilma as a sophomore. But that, I mean, if you're talking like tons of NFL talent, that's why I was kind of going back and forth was with this one. But for me, the 2004 USC Trojan roster, that was the one where I would like, for me personally, got me interested in college football because I loved Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart were like a hell of a duo.
All right, Cyrus, you can go next. And honestly, Kevin, I thought you were going to pick a Tim Tebow team. That's why I was laughing so hard. That's why I was laughing so hard.
Well, thank God I made up for it with my other teams.
Well, you kind of did, but you still picked the jailhouse team too. So,
all right. Well,
it's okay. It's okay. They weren't as bad.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll give you that. They didn't do anything until like really after college anyway.
Yeah.
So you're good.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Charlie Ward's Florida State Seminoles, sir.
Oh. Shout out to Charlie Ward, New York Knick.
Yeah. But I remember that offense being so dynamic and then having all those playmakers they had, Peter Warwick and Patrick Warwick and all those other guys. They had tons of talent. And they ran an offense where they sat in a shotgun. They didn't within first 5 seconds they go under center, and then they change the formation. So that stuff I was like, and they always ran up the score. And I believe 1 year Bobby Bowden won the national championship with them too. So
yes, rest in peace, Bobby Bowden.
Yes.
Love that guy. West Virginia native right there. He also coached the West. Didn't he coach at West Virginia?
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
He did right before he went to Florida State. Yep.
Oh man, all the success after he left. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Why does that always happen to us? All right. So I've got two, like Kevin. The first one is a team that I actually loved until I went to school, where I went to school, was the 2005 Texas Longhorns. That, like Kevin, was the team that got me into paying more attention to college football. I remember watching that national championship game and watching Vince Young just trot into the end zone. It's an iconic image. I know we all know it, but I remember sitting there on my couch, on the floor in my family room, watching it, going shocked and awe, watching these guys play. And he did everything like Cam Newton on his own. He had some weapons, but not a lot.
Right.
He went up against the juggernaut in USC and won. So I like that one. That was one of my top teams. And then I got to go with Mr. Cool, Mr. Cigar himself, the 2019 LSU Tigers. If you want to talk about NFL talent, that team was full of it.
Oh yeah, that team was loaded.
That team was ridiculously loaded. They went 13-0, 14-0, whatever it was. Crushed everybody. And honestly, maybe a little bit of a Bayou Tiger fan that day. Just a little bit. I did like him a little bit, but honestly,
they had like there was two guys on. They had Jefferson and him on opposite ends.
They had Jefferson on one side, they had Chase on the other, they have Joe Burrow in the middle. Their defense is all starters in the NFL right now in the cornerbacks and safety positions. Their offensive line, one of the offensive linemen that plays for the Bengals played for the Tigers in that same season.
Wasn't the tight end what's the name's son? Randy Moss's son, wasn't he on that
yes,
team too?
he Thaddeus Moss. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know where the heck he is at right now.
Oh no, he's somewhere. I know he's
I
he's
think
trying to play on the team.
He did not get drafted.
No, he didn't get drafted.
think.
He didn't get drafted.
And I know he visited the Patriots mainly because, the lineage there. Where is he at? He last played for the Bengals. Yeah, he's been on the practice squad. Oh, no, he was waived from the practice squad on September 5th of this past season. So yeah, I don't think he's playing.
Anytime I think of that 2019 team, all I think of is the image of Odell Beckham in the locker room and just going to all the wide receivers and just giving them like straight cash money. And then like the NCAA is like, oh my God, like freaking out.
I think my favorite image is just Joe Burrow sitting there like this, cigar in his mouth and just chilling. Like, I love it. I can't wait to see him do the same thing this coming Sunday. But yeah, so that's it. That's all we got. Kevin, you got anything else? That's all I wrote. So
Maybe,
Cyrus,
is it going to be inspirational?
Give me one, Cyrus. Give me one surprise that's going to happen in the Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
I believe that. I think Rhea Ripley is going to wind up winning the whole thing.
I like it. My prediction.
I think she's going to get the push. I think they're going to try to give her a push.
Yeah, I think so too. And then I think that in this Rumble, we're going to get one entry of a huge major star from back in the day that like we wouldn't expect. That's what I'm project.
Well, the other thing is I think they may they were thinking about it. I don't know if they're still doing it. They were trying to get the other Briscoe brother to see if they could get him to come to one of the tapings or do something. But he's still under contract with ROH and AEW. But I mean, that was an ass because technically
that happened.
Yeah, because all those guys were all those guys have been, they all been together for years, and so.
But yeah, that's a good one. That's all I had.
No fun. That's your final notes?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do have trivia. I'm trying to keep up with the trivia. It is West Virginia related. So Cyrus, you may or may not get it.
Okay.
But here we go. Which West Virginia University quarterback finished his career with 8,153 passing yards and left West Virginia as the school's leading passer?
Wow, that's a hell of a question. I want to say it's Gino.
Is that your final answer?
And it means it's not Gino.
Probably it's definitely not the answer. But yeah, that's going to be my final answer.
Okay.
Because of the fact that nobody other than till that air raid offense had that many yards ever thrown. So that's the only reason why I guessed him. But if it's not, I'm not surprised. Cyrus, you have a guess?
I'm thinking. Who else was a West Virginia quarterback? I'm stumped because the last person that was of notable was Gino. I know there was a guy after that was just picked in the draft, but I knew he didn't beat any records.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to go back and think like who was the other West Virginia quarterback, but there's nobody of note that I can think of. So I'm drawing a blank.
All right, Merritt, go ahead.
Okay, so I just looked up stats because this question is, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, this question's older. But yes, Geno Smith technically holds the record. He has over 11,000 passing yards at West Virginia University. When this question was created, though, Geno was not around. The previous holder of the passing record was none other than Mark Bulger.
Makes sense.
That's why I couldn't remember
sense.
because he wasn't that's saying Mark Bulger wasn't really high commodity coming out of school.
Mm-hmm.
No, he had a pretty decent NFL career. I'll give him that.
No, I know, but like,
baller at basketball.
Well, yeah,
both of them.
Yeah,
but he wasn't. But coming out of the draft, though, he wasn't a big name. That's why he went to the Rams because I think the Rams didn't the Rams at that time just went to the Super Bowl or was like went to the championship game or something like that. I'm gonna say.
When did Bulger?
Something like that, yeah. I think it was around 99 or 2000.
Right, so they had
Bulger went.
Right,
so hold on, I'll look it up. Give me a second. 90. So Bulger started his career in 2000. So, dude, season. Hold on. I just want to go down and find the actual stats, so I'm not reading. Did not play in 2001. 2002 played in 7 games. He played his whole career until 2010 with the Rams.
Right.
For 8 years he played with the Rams, and then his last year in Baltimore he did not play. So he was just like a backup and did not touch the field.
Right. So what I'm saying, like the year he got drafted, and the next year he played, I think those were the years that that team was still the greatest show on turf type of deal. And what's the name was and Warner was still the quarterback at the time. Yeah, so Warner they won the Super Bowl in 2000. That was the year they beat the Titans in the Super Bowl. And then in 2001 is when they lost the Super Bowl. Right. So there you go. So that's what I said. They picked him. He was like a second or third round pick. He wasn't. That's why they were talking about when he came. Like he wasn't a real well known guy, and when he was taken, it was like sort of a shock. He was the 5th quarterback taken in the 2000 draft. There you go. The quarterback taken, but right before the GOAT. And Tom Brady. Yeah. So yeah. What's he doing nowadays? What the hell does Bulger do now? Sells car insurance. Apparently he's a big time curler. Really? Yeah. Wow. He plays with Jared Allen and John Benton. But I feel like he does like commentating. It's a possibility. A lot of those quarterbacks get like he probably doesn't do it on like it's probably like a lower level. I don't think he probably gets like the crap-tastic games in whatever the region is. Oh, probably. So, all right, Kevin, that's all we got, bro.
Yeah, it's our time. First off, so I'm assuming it's outro time for me.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so once again, a wrestling episode was postponed, so hopefully in the cards we can get together and make it happen post Royal Rumble. But I want to thank Cyrus again for joining us out here. We appreciate your greatness, sir. If you want to share your Twitter handle with us, I just can't remember it.
Let's see if I can even remember it. I mean, listen, it's not like I go on Twitter. I'm just that popular on Twitter. So I am at CKJ1408. That's my Twitter handle.
1408 is our guy, Cyrus Johnson. If you want to look at our lovely faces on the YouTube, make sure you see us and like us on our YouTube page, the Mainly Musings Podcast. Stay tuned. Me and Merritt, we're trying to work on maybe do some giveaways, trying to get some more reviews, trying to get some little comments. I have some things that I have from when I traveled to the national championship that I can give away to. So stay tuned if we just do some little for us to do that. So you can make sure you listen to us on all of our streaming platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We are on Google Play. We are on Amazon Play as well. Make sure you follow Merritt at his Instagram at Merritt_P. Follow me at my Instagram at KQueva624. Follow the podcast Instagram at the Manly Musings Pod. And make sure you guys are on the watch on the YouTube. We got a lot of fun things coming up. We got We Out Here series of me at the Natty. We have the We're Out Here series at the LA Clippers game. You guys recently just saw the We're Out Here series at Stony Brook with Merritt. Me and Cyrus will be going to do it. We're out here in February. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And yeah, as Andrew said, we're just going to keep rocking this Manly Musings universe. So you guys take care. Have a great night.